women of indomitable will. And welcome to Women on Wheels here on Lagos Traffic Radio 96.1 FM. This program is brought to you by Toyota Nigeria Limited, and it airs every Tuesday at 7:30 here on Lagos Traffic Radio 96.1 FM. On today's edition of the program, I have my guest in the studio with me, and I'm sure you are guessing who I have in the house tonight. But yes, just stick around, for you to catch up with the program tonight. First, let me tell you that the roads are looking very, very good at this time. Recall that a while ago, I got a report from the control room talking about an impediment on the island part, precisely around Ikui end, which has been cleared off, but it's still affecting the flow of traffic. But not to worry, certainly you will get to your destination in good time. Ikorodu Road looking very good at this time. Likewise, Lagos-Ibadan Expressway, just please keep it within the speed limit. Shipping has historically been a male-dominated industry, and that way of doing things in the industry has long and deep tradition. Many countries, including Nigeria, are, however, trying to change the gender or bridge the gender gap. International Maritime Organization, that is IMO, through its global program on the integration of women in the maritime sector, is also making a concerted effort to help the industry move from the tradition and help women achieve a representation that is more in line with the 21st century expectations. The fact is the maritime industry needs more women, actually, particularly in leadership roles. It is in the line of this that the International Maritime Organization selected the theme Empowering Women in the Maritime Community as the World Maritime Day theme for 2019. In addition, the IMO's governing body approved the Women's International Shipping and Trading Association. Tonight, I will delve into the life and achievement of a remarkable woman who have blazed the trails, shattered glass, and of course inspired generation to come. We have in the studio tonight. You want to know who my guest is? Stick around.
Is more than just mechanics. It is about the freedom to express oneself. The driver's seat may seem insignificant, but it holds the power to redefine history. Our new program called Women on Wheels, WOW, is focused on every aspect of transportation with women at the wheels. WOW seeks to inspire and motivate you on responsible driving, inform you on the regulations and etiquette in all transportation sectors, educate and expose you to the business side of the wheels industry, and also share the history of wheels with you, our dear listener. Wow! Wow, wow! Live on Lagos Traffic Radio 96.1 FM every Tuesday at 7:30 p.m. with Baruwa Taiwo.
This show is proudly powered by Toyota Nigeria Limited.
Stay tuned.
Lagos Traffic Radio 96.1 FM. The program is Women on Wheels here on Lagos Traffic Radio. And of course, I did say earlier that most of the roads we're tracking at this time are looking very good. Should you have any concern out there, feel free to send a text on 0809-9120-777. I did say earlier that I have my guest seated with me in the studio. She is a phenomenal woman. With me in the studio tonight is the Director General of the Nigerian Chamber of Shipping. Vivian Chimezie Azubuike is with me tonight. Good evening, Vivian.
Hi, Taiwo. How are you doing?
Very well, thank you. How are you?
I'm doing great.
Good. I mean, I see the look in your face. You really look good. I mean, you can't be in that space and not be good.
I know, right? Thank you. I'll take that as a compliment.
All right, then. So let's get down to business. Who is Vivian Chimezie Azubuike in the maritime industry, and how did she rise to become the Director General of the Nigerian Chamber of Shipping?
All right, so I'll start by saying Vivian is witty-minded, a woman who loves challenges, and curious-minded woman who walked into the maritime industry by curiosity. So my journey started from, I remember clearly, while I was studying estate management in one of the universities in Nigeria.
Okay.
And I just heard about maritime, and I became curious. I'm like, what's this shipping thing? What's this maritime? And I was told that, of course, my alma mater, the Federal University of Technology, where it was offering the course at the time. So that, increased my curiosity. I said, okay, that's fine. I think it's something I'll be interested in. So the following year, without informing my parents, I wrote the JAMB and then told them that I had gotten an admission into Federal University of Technology, and everybody was decided, like, okay, what course is this now? I said, oh, it's called Transport Management Technology, but there's an option for maritime. I'm like, oh, where are you coming from? I'm like, I think that's what I want to do. I'm like, okay, we trust you, we trust your judgment, we know you always know what you want, so good luck and make the best of it. So that was how I walked into it.
Did you have a prior knowledge of what the maritime space seemed like?
Yeah, I think, like I said, it was just curiosity, but honestly, I think I wanted to be a captain.
A captain? Amazing.
A female captain.
Okay.
That was the aim.
But you can actually be whatever you choose.
Oh yeah, of course. I mean, I'm not backing out on that, but I don't know if I have the time now that I am a full, a mother, and I have other things that I'm chasing. So I think my priorities has changed over time. But then, if I see anyone who wants to venture into the maritime industry and you think you can go through it, and of course we have female captains from Nigeria or in Nigeria, I'll say go for it.
And tell me, how has the journey been so far?
It's been interesting. It's not anything short of what I expected. Of course, the maritime industry is also evolving. There's a lot that's happening in the space. So, that has kept me going, and that's why it's always very good to encourage people to do whatever their heart chooses to do, because even when the challenges come, they rise above them. So it's been interesting.
Tell me about your low moment and the high points for you in the course of your journey.
Okay, so
wait 1 minute. How long have you been in this maritime space?
This 2025. So I'll call it 19 years.
19 years. Yes. Tell me about your low moment and the high point for you.
So I didn't see them as low moments, but they were one of the things that I experienced that informed my decision to do things differently. So I see, at the time I joined the industry, I think what I realized was that there wasn't a lot of information about what the industry was all about. And of course, this is the age of internet. So there was, at the time, it wasn't a thing for us. I mean, this back home, right? So we didn't have a lot of information. You couldn't go online to just know things. You needed to go to books and all that. And then at the time, we also had the Maritime University. That's the Maritime Academy around I know I visited that school while I was in the university also. So it was all part of my learning process. So I wanted to know what they stood for. And honestly, at the time, they didn't have so much of what all that has changed. So the low moments for us was that, okay, what am I doing here? Like this excitement, it looks like it's dying down. I don't have a lot that I'm seeing that would, put me out there. And so, of course, talking about being a woman in the space was like, where's she coming from, right? And of course, I've had predecessors who had been there. I'm not the first female Director General of the Nigerian Chamber of Shipping. I'm not.
Okay.
We do have Mrs. Ify Akeri, who was the first, who also cut her teeth in the industry by being interested in being in a part of the industry. So for us, we are an advocacy platform. So for us also as an advocacy organization, the challenges we have is what is it that the expectations from the industry we need to, it's like we're always keeping tab, and there are desirous things that we want to see in the industry, and then we want to talk about them. We work closely with the ministry, the agencies of the industry. So so those times when we didn't see those things coming at the time, like we were all navigating the waters, right? So those were low points for us. So we're all trying to understand what the industry was all about and all that. And then there was the time of cabotage. So there were a lot of things that were novel, that were new in the industry. So I think we were also, as an advocacy organization, also experienced those low moments. Yeah.
So what has kept you going?
Oh, what has kept me going? I know people will say, it will sound cliche to say passion. But I think what has kept me going is my vision for the industry, what I want to see, especially because Nigeria.
Tell me what you want to see.
Oh, Nigeria is a maritime industry. I think we have a lot of potentials that are untapped, and there's been a lot that's happening in the industry post-COVID. So the COVID era introduced a lot of things, and so even from the IMO, which is the regulatory body for the international regulatory body for the maritime industry, there are a lot of demands that are coming, as a result of these changes or these interruptions that came in, as a result of COVID. So that's what I want to see. But I think we are getting there, because now we have a ministry for marine and blue economy.
Sure.
So the ministry is doing a lot. There's been a lot of engagements and of course conversations, stakeholders meetings, which the chamber is part of or has always been part of. And we are looking forward to getting our maritime policy. Once we get that right, we can't even run a maritime nation without a policy. So the policy is going to be like a framework by which we would run. So I feel that we've been doing a lot, but when we get that right, the policy, it's going to be easier to be like a grease that would that will enable the flow of all the activities and all the related stakeholders that are in the industry.
Talking about marine and blue economy, the ministry is quite new, and I am going to align with what you said earlier, that there are a whole lot of untapped opportunities in this space. Can you tell us, some of these untapped opportunities? Perhaps someone might be listening out there and would be interested.
Yeah, so for the marine and blue economy, basically we're looking at the economics of the water. So that's where the blue economy comes from. And when you look at the waters, aside from shipping, which is regular, moving of vessels and carrying liquid, bulk, petroleum products and all that. That's not all that we have. Right in the waters, we have the seabed. So there's a lot that we have in the seabed. So we're talking about mining. From the, we have also the recycling. There's a lot. For instance, when we talk about marine and blue economy, we should be talking about shipbuilding. We should be talking about shipbuilding, and these are related to other industries, like the steel industry. So if we had a steel industry that is working, it will be easier for us to build our own vessels.
Is it doable in Nigeria?
Of course. What is impossible if you have the resources? We have the human resources, we have the natural resources, and we have the people who can do this job. We have professionals. There are a lot of professionals. There are people who are happy and willing to come home, and those that are even in the country who are happy to run and with these visions and to work with the government to ensure that we have a viable maritime industry. So maritime is quite big. I think that like I said earlier, we have not maximized our potentials. There's a lot to be tapped.
And why is this? I mean, why the setback?
I think we've just started, getting this right. Like I said, the introduction of the marine and blue economy is
just scratching the surface.
Yes, yeah.
Amazing. All right, Lagos, you might be wondering who I have been engaging. Tonight, I have Vivian Chimezie Azubuike in the studio with me. She is the Director General of the Nigerian Chamber of Shipping. The program is Women on Wheels here on Lagos Traffic Radio 96.1 FM. All right, Vivian, let's talk about women, engagement, and the workplace now. The maritime sector is such that is, male-dominated, right? Let's talk about, do you see it as a place women can actually thrive?
Oh, yeah, of course. I know it's a place where women can thrive.
I mean, when I say thrive, it's not something you just want to jump on. It's not the regular 9 to 5 kind of job. Is it a place that one can easily thrive?
We have Nigerian female captains, right? And these are women that are also sailing on international waters. So there's a lot. I think that really that anybody can do anything as long as you have a strategy as to how you want to achieve it. So yes, we have a lot of accomplished maritime women. We have women we have maritime lawyers, and there are lots of women. That space has a lot of women. We have seafarers. Globally, we don't have a lot of women that are seafarers, right? But that's a space that is also very viable, and a space that women can thrive, because if we, like I said, if we can harness our maritime space, there's a lot that's happening within the inland waterways and all that. We can have women who are manning barges and vessels that can move around. So there's a lot. We have women who are into advocacy, just like we are, me and my humble self. And then we also have women who do other things and I feel, like I said, if we can get our policy right, what I mean policy right in the sense that we have all the stakeholders identified in the drafting of that policy, which we have been doing, I feel that everybody's going to get their place in it. And I think also it's important that we start educating girls early. Educating girls from secondary school is very important. Like, I'll give an example. Most of the key maritime nations, they start talking about maritime from secondary school. So by the time you're 18, you've already taken a decision. And so when you go to maritime schools, you literally see teenagers, and if you give it a long time, because maritime, when you talk about seafarers, it's a long-term profession. You want to update yourself, so there's a lot of certifications, and just like talking about a pilot. So you keep improving yourself, and all that. It keeps going on and on and on until you're ready to retire. So the earlier the better. So we don't want people walking into maritime just like I did. That's just
we see government agencies such as the Road Safety Corps do advocacy. Several agencies go to schools to do advocacy, right? So what is your agency and some other agencies within the maritime space doing to educate these children? Okay,
so we have a lot of women in the maritime industry. For the organization that I belong to, Nigerian Chamber of Shipping, we have a Maritime Women Day celebration, which we conference which we hold yearly since the IMO announced the recognition of women in maritime, which is the May 18th, and the Chamber of Shipping has been holding conferences around that, and we have had a lot of women, international speakers. First, I think our maiden edition, we had the World Maritime University president at the time, who was a woman. You understand? That was the first female president of the World Maritime University, and we have had a lot of women, even here in Nigeria. So we're doing a lot in that space. That's for advocacy. Now we also have other women who are running programs for secondary school. Then for the association I belong to, which is recognized by IMO, Women's International Shipping and Trading Association, WISTA, where I'm also the public relations officer here in Nigeria, and also a member of the environmental committee of the international body. So that WISTA is 50 years, the international body, and then WISTA Nigeria is 30 years. So we're celebrating this year also. So we also do a lot. We also go to small communities to empower women in shipping. We have fisher women. Right here we have the women who are into and aquaculture and all that. So we are doing a lot, and then there are other women who are doing a lot in their own spaces, because we have all identified that these are needs, and we're trying to bridge this knowledge gap.
Let's talk about the challenges that women in the maritime space face.
Right.
The challenges you face that is relatively applicable to those of you in the maritime space for women.
Okay, so I think for some of us, first it was of course there's always this bias, and it's not just for Nigeria. I think it's global.
Oh really?
Yeah. There are not a lot of women, sometimes it's a cultural thing. So it's internationally we have some women whose culture in their own countries is that women are not allowed to be seen. They're not allowed to be out there. So if you have such challenges, you can't your dream of becoming a sailor, for instance, or a seafarer, automatically dies. For us here, I think it was because, of course, internationally it's a maritime, it's a male-dominated space, and we are all seen as, they can't do it, they can't last, they don't have the energy, they don't have the strength, and all that. And so for some of us, it was also, she's too young, where's she coming from? Like, she doesn't have an idea how she's going to survive and all that. But I see that the narratives are changing already, because the truth is that there's no, I give it to all the women in the maritime industry, there's no one woman who hasn't had a story to tell. Be it a lawyer or a seafarer, there's always that challenge, but they've all risen above it, and that's why they can be recognized. That's why they can be seen. That's why they are able to impact the upcoming generation. So I feel that it's not peculiar to me. I think it's a general thing, and I think we can rise above it.
Aside the bias that comes with strength and all of these things, let's talk about how you deal with male counterparts. As it relates to you as a woman, as a mother, and a wife.
I think one of the things that you do with yourself is knowing what your principles are. I think it's basically, I feel that if you're a very principled person and you know what you want, your message is easily communicated. It's not everybody that is approachable when they know that this is just going to be a failed mission. Don't even bother about it, because she's not that. She's just about her work and the results. Once you're result oriented, really you won't even be distracted. I don't think you even be bothered about those sort of distractions, because you don't see them.
That doesn't stall your growth.
No, the challenges always come, but then the truth is that I know that when you have results and you have potentials, everybody and anybody will want to work with you, because they see you as a good partner for progress and success.
A general myth now that women are difficult to deal with, especially when they are at the helm of affairs.
Right.
Do you believe this?
I don't always believe such things. I think I like to have my own personal experiences before I take decisions on what
Tell me what your personal view is.
I feel that it's not a true story. My first boss was a woman, and I've had to work with women more or less, in the course of my growth, career growth. I don't think I ever had that challenge. I think the best thing is, when you want to go into an organization, you shouldn't be biased, because sometimes we work with this understanding, and that affects our own productivity also. So when you walk into a place, whether it's a male or a female, you should go in with the motive and objective of ensuring that the organization grows, and play your own path, and I'm sure everything will be fine.
For everywhere you get to in life, for every achievement you get to attain in life, there is always a lesson you get to learn.
Right.
What's that one thing that being a Director General of the Nigerian Chamber of Shipping has taught you?
Oh, it's interesting. I think one of the things that I have learned as the Director General of the Nigerian Chamber of Shipping is to always push the boundaries. Every program, every strategy that we have put in place in the past few years has been deliberate in promoting the Nigerian maritime industry. It's been about promoting women in the industry. It's been about giving Nigeria that excuse me, that outlook, right?
Yes,
so we the lessons I've learned is that you can't rest on your oars. There's always something to navigate.
In 30 seconds, what would be your parting shot to women, your advice to women, young ladies and girls alike?
Right, so I think what I would say is that do not drop your anchor yet. There's still a lot of seas to sail and fair winds as you navigate life.
All right, then. I must say a very big thank you to Vivian Chimezie Azubuike, the Director General of the Nigerian Chamber of Shipping. Thank you so much for coming on the program.
Thank you for having me.
All right, then. This is where we wrap things up on the show tonight. It's been an amazing time on Women on Wheels here on Lagos Traffic Radio 96.1 FM. This program has been brought to you by Toyota Nigeria Limited. It has been produced by Ajose Oluwale, Iduwadeyemi, Fumilade Akingbagbo. Maximum thanks to Afe John handling, the social media tonight. Maximum thanks to Victor Terry also. Our executive producer is Taya Konli. I remain Taiwo Baruwa. The program makes a return next week, Tuesday, for another conversation. Until then, do have a great evening.